So I'm Matt Williams, and I've built a gateway between Project Clearwater and Matrix. So what are the two components? So Project Clearwater is an IMS core. It's open source, massively scalable, and it speaks SIP. And that's because that's what an IMS core speaks. Matrix is a communication standard, and it links kind of communication islands, but it doesn't speak SIP very much. Matthew has written a gateway, but yeah. And so this is what I've basically built. So on the left, so the component in yellow is the thing I've actually spent my time writing. On the left, we've got JS SIP, which is a SIP client. The reason I've used a web browser-based one is because I haven't actually got any media pass-through here. I'm just doing the signaling side, and so I needed something that spoke WebRTC natively. So I'm using a browser-based SIP client, but it is SIP all the way through. So I'm using a browser-based SIP client. I've got a SIP to WebSockets gateway, which is actually part of Project Clearwater. I've then got the actual IMS core itself. And then in the middle is the component I've written, which takes in SIP on one side and talks the Matrix application service API into a local Matrix home server. And then through the magic of federation, that talks to remote Matrix home servers. And then through Matrix protocol, it talks to the Matrix web UI. So what I can do is I can make a call from my SIP phone through to Matrix, which I'll now hopefully do.
Did you say you don't have the media?
So we don't have the media side. This is just.
So you're just going to make it ring?
Oh no, sorry. So the WebRTC, so the media will pass through. We're passing SDP across, but the media is WebRTC end to end. So if you've got a SIP coming from the PSTN, say, it would probably be a different form of RTP. So WebRTC RTP is DTLS, whatever it is. Yeah. Yes. And so if I was using just a standard SIP client, like I've got on my mobile phone, that wouldn't talk WebRTC media. Yep.
But presumably you could put the media server.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and if I had the time, it would be nice. But I only got this working about 3 minutes before the end of the.
You can use Dialogic XMS to do that.
Okay, I will try that next time. So I've got.
And there are other solutions.
So on the.
He was sleeping.
Okay, so on the left I've got my SIP client, and on the right I've got my Matrix web session. I'm logged in as mirwtest.mirw.cwngv.com. Sorry, I'm logged in as basically my user is going to be my SIP URI is the point. So I'm going to type the SIP URI in here. So I've just got a new invite to join a room. And if I click on that, then I get asked to answer a video call. And if I do that, then hopefully I've got a call up. And I can hang up. And that was actually just to my local home server. So now I'm going to try to call Odvar.
This is getting good.
No pressure on them.
Is it ringing? Wait.
So Odvar is using what?
So Odvar is using the Matrix client, but he's connected to a different Matrix service. This is demonstrating federation. So he could be anywhere. Well, it's the magic of Matrix.
I can see this thing going part of the dangerous demos for the next stats.
Yeah, you've got competition, Matthew, there.
Unless you have federation, what's the point?
Cool, so that's the demo. And just to show you, so this is from our internal diagnostics. These are the actual SIP flows, so just to show this is real SIP. And then those are some references. So the code is all open source. It's on my GitHub account. So if anyone wants to play with it later, as is Project Clearwater and Matrix.
That's all brilliant. Thank you so much,
Cool.
Matt. Any questions for Matt?
Well, how does the identity, so the caller ID on the receiving side, how confident can you be that that was what came on the other side. Right, so, yeah, talk a little bit about identity.
So in IMS, you use a peer-asserted identity header, which is basically the kind of standard thing that says whether what the subscriber's identity is. And that's when the subscriber registers, then that is kind of, as part of their authentication process, that's checked. And so whenever the subscriber makes a call, their identity is asserted because when they registered with the IMS core, they were authenticated, and that identity is then passed through to.
So in theory, you might have a matrix identity service that was tied into your IMS core.
Yeah, so you could do that. I haven't done that here. Yes, it just creates an account on behalf of the user when they make a call.
Yeah, and then on the matrix side, you've got potentially reasonably strong, well, very strong authentication.
Yeah,
It was all there.
the ID system in Matrix is evolving quite a lot at the moment, and if anybody's interested in the gory details, there's a lot of discussion in the last 2 or 3 days about how we're basically rejigging it. There's basically a discussion to try to use some of the distributed consensus stuff that Stellar have released when Stellar.org launched a few days ago. They basically have a distributed Paxos system which enables you to do internet-wide consensus for things like what ID maps to what person, and so we're doing thought experiments on rejigging everything to use that. So for instance, the peer-asserted identity IMS-style IDs could be an assertion that was pushed into the wider matrix, saying that I assert this MSISDN or this IMPU technically maps through to a particular matrix ID, and then it kind of keeps on propagating through these waves of organic trust. And basically you'd end up with an identity system that's approximately 30 times more complicated than the rest of Matrix put together. But it turns out that identity is hard.
And that illustrates quite succinctly why we have to protect poor normal users from things like that.
Yeah.
Make it really easy at the edge. So speaking of the users, what would you see as the user benefit for this?
So it basically means that you can address your matrix user. You can extend your the people that you can call beyond just the people on the PSTN or your normal SIP users. I think one of the ideas of matrix is kind of extending these. Referred to as islands of communication. I mean, the PSTN is quite a big island, but extending the island of communication beyond just what's PSTN and SIP.
Yeah. So effectively, you can have an entry point, something like an MSRSDN, which then reaches out into multiple islands of communication and finds the most appropriate one to connect. Very useful when you're trying to talk to somebody like me, or you, in fact.
So we've got a link bridge, for instance, in Matrix, which isn't quite released yet. It's using libpurple to speak Skype and Link on one side, Matrix on the other. So you could punch out from an IMS core all the way through into Microsoft Link, or sorry, Skype for Business ecosystem, which is, I guess, the whole idea of linking the islands together, matrixing them together, if you will.
Cool. So with that, again, excellent hack. Thanks a lot.